Why is going directly to the end state, to the desired reality, to being who you want to be, to having what you want to have, why is going to the end so important? Why should we start at the end and not focus on the middle, not be entangled in the bridges and all of that? Well, there are concrete, straight to the point explanations to that, and that is what I want to give you in this video. So with that, let's just dive straight in. So first of all, Neville always said the end is where we begin. Right? He did not say, okay, focus on what is the next thing that you think is achievable for you, and then you work your way up. No, he always said the end is where we begin, the end state, right? So you're here right now, you want to be here, you have this desire to be in this state, to experience those new circumstances. It's not that you need to focus on every little step that might happen in between, because when you focus on that, you bring in a lot of your rational mind, you bring in a lot of your of your mind that can't see how it can actually go to the end, because the mind is bound to the senses, to what is currently there. So that's why we should leave all of that by side and go straight and appropriate and occupy straight the end state of having and being what we want to have and who we want to be. Because in the end is where our desire is realized, right? And the end is where the satisfaction lays. That is very important, because many people, they think, okay, I first manifest, finding a partner or getting a message from the partner, and then doing this, and then I work my way up step by step, instead of going directly to what they actually desire, which is the relationship. Because if you manifest in steps, which does work, but the question is, why would you do that if you also can go straight to the end? Because when you manifest in steps, then you will see that you can manifest the next step that you think you can achieve, but then still your desire is not satisfied. Still your desire, still this hunger is still alive within you. So it's like, people, let's just say there's someone that makes $2,000 a month, and they think, I want to make 10,000 because then I feel I have a certain level of financial abundance, I have a certain level of freedom, I can do what I want, right? It's a common desire, this type of number, 10,000 per month. That was also my first desire back then. And these people then start, okay, 10,000, wow, from 2 to 10, that's a little bit high. I can't believe that right now. It's not possible. Let me double it. Maybe I can believe that I can make 4,000 through whatever way, and then start to double it, and then maybe focus on that, but then still the desire for actually the 10K remains. So why not go immediately and dwell in the 10K state? That is what we want to learn, because it does not matter what right now you believe to be true. With your and through your imagination, you expand your borders and your limits of belief. Right? It's in your imagination where you believe. If I were to ask you what happens when you jump off a 20-floor building, you know what happens, but you have never physically experienced that. So you believe you know something to be true in your imagination. You don't need the physical experience of that. So your imagination allows you to overjump all the steps and go straight to the end. But if you want to manifest a vacation, you don't need to manifest how you book it, how you pack your bags, how you drive to the airport, how you fly, how you drive to the hotel, and then how you walk to the beach. No, you can straight forward, go to the end. You already stand on the beach. You are already directly in the end. You are already in the vacation. You don't need to do all of these steps. Also, Neville, his first conscious manifestation, when he went to Barbados, his mentor Abdullah said, you are in Barbados right now. He did not say, oh, focus on how you go to the ship and then how you go to your family. No, you are right now already in your family's house. So you put him imaginatively straight into the end state. So manifesting the middle, but all the middle things that you think will maybe lead you to your desire is totally possible. You are in control. But going straight to the end is simply more easy, because then you dwell in the wish fulfilled. Then you satisfy your hunger. It's no problem if from your current state you can't believe the end. That's what I just explained previously, right? Because by occupying the end state, by starting to imagine the end of what you want, even if right now it seems unnatural, unbelievable, that's okay. That's not the problem. But by you starting to view the world from the desired end, by you starting to think from it, occupy it, live in it, embodying it, bringing it in the here and now, asking yourself, what would it be like? What would I see? What would I hear? What would imply the end to me? Right? By utilizing all of these tools that I share throughout my channel, that I share in my free masterclass, first link in the description, that I of course also share step by step in my program, you can learn how you can go straight to the end. Even if right now that seems a little bit challenging, even if doubts, fears, worries, emotions are coming up, along the way. That's not the problem. You just have probably never learned how to really face them, transcend them, dissolve them, and deal with them in a conscious way. So that is, first of all, my statement. The end is where we begin. We don't begin by working out a way. That is the rational man's or woman's approach, right? Rationally thinking, oh, what can I do next? What is the best possible next step? The imaginative man or woman knows, I don't need to let there be a way. I can already internally go straight into the end where there is no longer for me a way to work out. I can stand within right now already in the wish-fulfilled state. And this is what Neville said. The acceptance of the end wills the means. Automatically let the state lead. I have a video on this. I will link this above right now. You let the state lead, right? If you occupy the desired end state, all the means necessary to express that state, the actions that will be necessary from you, the actions that will be necessary from people in this world will happen to fulfill that state that you internally live in. So the acceptance of the end, let that sink in, wills the means. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and your dimensionally greater self will determine the means, right? The deeper part of you that you can't rationally or consciously even grasp, right? This imaginative self, your true self, consciousness, awareness, right? Your God self behind your ego, that is doing the work in a sense. That will orchestrate everything in your world in a way that you will also in your sense world encounter your manifestation, but you need to first accept that end within. So when you appropriate a state as though you had it, right? You don't have it yet. Physically, everything denies it. People around you deny it. Your senses deny it. Your mind denies it because that is tied to the senses that can only believe what is in front of you right now. But if you appropriate that desired reality, that desired version of you, that desired state, as though you had it, the activity of the day will divert your mind from all anxious thoughts so that you do not look for signs. You do not have to carry the feeling that some presence is going to do it for you. Rather, you know that it is already done. As the end is accepted, you become totally indifferent as to possible failure, for acceptance of the end wills the means to that end. And I really like that. It's really important because when you accept the end, when you dwell on the end, when you experience the end in your imagination, when you, for example, imagine a scene, utilize other methods to anchor in that end state, you at some point become indifferent towards failure. No matter if you see seemingly opposite stuff in the 3D world occurring, that's no longer really triggering you, or that's not really facing you because you know what is already true for you. You accepted the end. When you emerge from the moment of prayer, it is as though you were shown the happy and successful end of a play, although you were not shown how that end was achieved. However, having witnessed the end, regardless of any anticlimactic sequence, you remain calm and secure in the knowledge that the end has been perfectly defined. So just imagine that. You go to the cinema, and for some reason you're late. You open the door to the cinema room, and you see the end of the movie, right? You see where the character has the desired relationship, where the character has the desired money, business situation, where the character has the health situation, where the character has achieved his or her goals. You just come in and you see the character has it. It's done, right? You see the end. But then you're like, wait a second, I want to see the whole movie, right? I want to see, I missed it, I came too late. So then you go into the next theater, you start to watch the movie from the beginning on, and you see all the ups and downs, right? You see the character goes through this, and seemingly mid-movie, it looks like the character can't achieve his or her goals. It looks like everything is going sideways, it's overwhelming. But deep down, you already know the end. You already know, no matter what is right now appearing, no matter if there's opposites seemingly in the movement, this or that, the end, it's done for you. You accept the end, you live in the end internally. Right? And that is such a nice metaphor here that this is also true for your desires. Once it's done for you within, you go through your life, and there might be seemingly ups and downs, peaks and valleys, movement, no movement, and all of that. But your end is secure, and you're in this knowing within yourself. So knowing it is already a fact, walk as though it were, and things will happen to make it so. You do not have to be concerned about some presence doing anything for you. The deeper, dimensionally greater you has already done it. All you do is move to the place where you encounter it. I want you to understand this. This is very important, right? The deeper, dimensionally greater you has already done it. Creation is finished. Your desire does exist. It is already in creation. It is already in existence. It is already in the unseen reality. And you, by starting to imagine it, by starting to become aware of it, you basically activate that unseen reality. You start to feel into it. You start to dwell in it. You start to appropriate that unseen state, which is for the world right now unseen. But you make it alive within yourself, so it is already done. And then, like Nell said, everything that you do is you move externally through the right actions that will be given to you. Some call it inspired actions. I call it more automatic actions, and that you will be moved because your world has to reflect back to you where you stand within. So if within you stand in that end, confirm and stable in that end state, everything that you do will basically lead you to where you already stand within. So the acceptance of the end wills the means. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and your dimensionally creator self will determine the means. It's not your job to rationally work out any steps along the way. I did a very powerful video on should I take action, should I not take action when manifesting. I will link this one above right now because short answer is actions should be not something that you're worried about, because the main question is, what do you want right now? What is your desired end right now? You start to dwell in having it already. You start to imagine something that implies you have it right now, right here. And once you enter that state, once you dwell in that state, new actions will spring automatically from that new state that you now live in internally. I know of no clear definition of the means by which we realize our desires than to experience in our imagination what we would experience in the flesh were we to achieve our goal. This imaginary experience of the end with acceptance wills the means. That is one of the most straight to the point explanations of how to go straight to the end, of how to live in the end. Right? Like Neville said, I know of no clearer definition of the means by which we realize our desires. So Neville basically saying he does not know, after all his years of study, experimenting, teaching and applying it, getting results and all of that, he does not know of any better way of describing this formula of what you should apply than to experience, not think of, not just randomly daydream, no, but internally experience in your imagination, because that is what your imagination allows you to do. It allows you to sense something that is right there, not in front of you, what you would experience in the flesh were we to achieve our goal, aka what does imply your desire has already manifested. Right now, if you assume, okay, let's just suppose it is already there, it has already manifested, what would happen tomorrow? What would I encounter next week that implies to me I already have it? And if you experience that with acceptance, that will lead to the manifestation. So this imaginary experience of the end with acceptance wills the means. The undisciplined mind, right, finds it difficult to assume a state which is denied by the senses, because we are so used to only take for what is right now in front of us, right? We have unlearned to consciously imagine, because social media, the world around us, the news, mainstream, normal unconscious people, they in a sense, they have a certain pull that bring you away from utilizing your manifestation power consciously. And therefore, it's difficult to assume something that right now it's not in front of you, because you always take at face value, you only take your cue from what currently is. But here is a technique that makes it easy to call things which are not seen as though they were. That is to encounter an event before the course. People have a habit of slightening the importance of simple things, but this simple formula for changing the future was discovered after years of searching and experimenting. And we talked about this formula right now. Okay? So that's it. That is why you first of all should go straight to the end, right? The end is where we begin. It is never about, manifesting the next possible step that you think does make sense or would be good. No, what is your desire? If you focus on the steps between, you just usually make it more difficult for yourself than it needs to be. Again, I'm not saying that it does not work to manifest steps along the way, but honestly, ask yourself right now, what sense does it have? Right? I don't see any useful case where this comes in. Some people like it for whatever reason, but I like to go straight to the end where I already have what I previously desired, and now in my imagination I go in the end where I have it, where I am it, where it's done for me, and everything that happens in between usually unfolds in a way that I would not even be able to come up with. It unfolds in a very mystical, weird, crazy way, back and forth, and no movement, and then big movement, and then this and that, and then I encounter my end, but I could have never worked out these ways. So don't focus on the middle, go straight to the end. The end is where we begin. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free and put them in the comments, or any future videos that you would like me to do and to talk about. Also, if you need help with that, be aware I have 2 main resources. One is my free masterclass. That is where, in a no hype, no fluff, no woo-woo way, I teach you how to shift, how to go to the end, how to go into this desired identity of yours that already has his or her desires. And if you want my accountability, my personal help, my program, my support, my private community, a structured step-by-step system on how to make these teachings that we talk about on this channel a lifestyle, make them normal and apply them in a very natural manner, then I invite you to schedule a free 45-minute consultation call with me or someone from my team. And we're simply going to ask you some questions and diagnose where you are, where you want to be, your stumbling blocks. We're going to help you come up with a game plan. And then you can decide by yourself if you want to join us or if you want to go by yourself. There are no hard feelings involved. This is a laid-back, non-binding call. And I invite you to do that because you have nothing to lose. Best case is we end up saying, let's do it together. Worst case is that you come out of a 45-minute call having learned a lot, having gotten some tips, and you can still continue by yourself if you decide so. That's it. Speak to you soon. Bye, guys.